All right, Shalom. This is Canucks Anban Yasharala from the GMS Lions Den Camp. First and foremost, I'd like to give all glory and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ha, Requah Kadash, Ma'amah. Double honors to the elder apostles, the great millstone, and salutations to the Archon that are pushing this truth and sincerity and truth throughout the four corners of the earth. And peace and blessing to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. All right, the topic I'm gonna get in today is talking about um the abomination of desolation. It's Antiochus Epiphanes the Fourth, the only abomination of desolation. If you think about it, not only you have Antiochus the Fourth that happened during the time of the Maccabees, you also have 70 A.D., which was talking about. That's what Daniel 12 and 11 is talking about, and that's what Matthew 24 and 15 is talking about. Is 70 A.D. But if you think about it, um, if you think about it, Esau as a whole, as a nation of people, are the abomination of desolation. All right, because that's all they bring forth is abomination and hell everywhere they go. Um, as a nation of people. All right, so I'm just gonna go bring out a couple scriptures and go into that because you have the time during the Maccabean revolt. As a matter of fact, let me get it real quick. That they set up Zeus, or they set up a statue in the temple of Jupiter, and they were giving, paying homage to Jupiter and sacrificing pigs, and they took away our feast days and things like that during the time of the Maccabean revolt. And then you also have 70 AD during the siege of Jerusalem. All right, that happened with General Titus, who became emperor after the siege of Jerusalem. And then if you fast forward to today with all the images and idols, especially the main image and idol of the so-called white Messiah or so-called Christ. All right, that's another abomination of desolation. All right, because that's an idol, that's image that's set up in the temple of 2/3 of a majority of our people. Whether you still have Israelites still calling upon that name, Christ. All right, so all these things that are brought forth by the so-called white man are abominations of desolations. All right, so we're gonna go into and read about some of these abominations of desolations that was brought forth by the so-called white man. First, I want to get Habakkuk real quick. This is Habakkuk chapter 2. All right, verse 5. It says, "Yea, ye also, because he transgressed with by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied." So he enlarges his desires, and as he does that, he creates hell and death, and he can't be satisfied. All right, it's talking about Esau as a nation, all right, because they transgress through their philosophies and their ways, and through their imagery of how society should be built, and it doesn't go according to the scriptures. They go directly opposite of the scriptures, and they use all these different things to put idols in our head. All right, they do all this type of witchcraft to create a delusion. All right, so our people won't be able to, you know what I'm saying, come along into the truth. Because it says, because the God of this world has blinded the minds of them. As a matter of fact, let me get that real quick. Because this is what this devil does, man. He's a walking abomination, Esau. He needs to be made desolate. The Lord's going to make him desolate. All right, let me get 2 Corinthians chapter 4. All right. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 3. It says, "But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, in whom the God of this world hath blinded the mind of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Yahweh Shai, who is the image, should shine unto them." All right, so 2/3 our people are going to remain desolate until those missiles come and purge them and cleanse them. All right, by the hands of, you know what I'm saying. Esau is the one bringing forth this destruction. The Most High is bringing forth this judgment to these nations, but he's using the wicked for the day of evil. And the wicked that he's talking about, that wicked root that he's talking about, is is Esau. All right, let me get Job chapter 9 verse 24. It says, "The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the face of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?" Right, because the earth, of course, when it's talking about the God of this world, he's talking about the spiritual entity Satan. But the spiritual entity Satan is released upon the nation of Edom. They're the one that bring forth the vibrations in the will. It's all the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. But according to this standard, they're doing the will of for the left hand side, and they're filled with the spiritual demon Satan. Okay, so they are a walking abomination. All right. So let me go to, yeah. So basically, so the God of this world has blinded the minds of them that can't believe because they cannot see the light. And there's no light in them. All right. So they can't be partakers of that light because they're blinded by the God of this world. But he's blinded the minds of them. He has, they still have his imagery. It doesn't have to necessarily have anything to do with Christ, but the philosophies of the so-called trying to fit in this society is an abomination. All right, they're basically plain and simple. All right, so Esau is a walking abomination. This is Proverbs 15:8. It says, "The sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination, the Lord to the Lord, but the prayer of the upright is his delight. The way of the wicked is an abomination unto the Lord, but he loveth him that falleth after righteousness." All right, so the way of the wicked, the way of Esau is abomination unto the Most High. All right, so if you're trying to follow behind those ways and try to fit into this society, being a part of this world is an abomination. All right, so anything that's a friend of this world is an enemy to the Most High, man. All right, because this world is given into the hand of the enemy. Who is our arch enemy? Is Esau, and he's a walking abomination. All right, this is second Maccabees chapter 6 verse 1. It says, "Not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their father." Because if you think about it, the first abomination would be the serpent in the garden. All right. And then you have, anything dealing with idolatry is an abomination to the Most High. Anything dealing with graven images and anything like that. As a matter of fact, let me get that before I get into Maccabees. I'm gonna get that. All right. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 9. It says, "For the ungodly and his ungodliness are both alike hateful unto Yahweh. For that which is made shall be punished together with him that made it. Therefore upon the idols of the Gentiles shall there be a visitation, because in the creature of Yahweh they are become an abomination and a stumbling block to the souls of men, and a snare to the feet of the unwise." So basically, you have them walk around putting their philosophies and their ways into the minds of the children of Israel, and they become a walking abomination. And all these, so even idol worship itself is abomination to the Most High. All right. So with them putting up the statue and Jupiter around the time of shit, the Maccabean revolts. I'm not sure around what time that was. That was right before the Hasmonean dynasty. So somewhere around 150 or 180 something BC. I'm not sure on the date, so correct me if I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong on that. Um, but during the time of Maccabean revolt, when with the pursuit of Antiochus against the Jews, um, he did a lot of abominable things. All right, he put up statues and groves inside the temple. All right, as a matter of fact, this is Second Maccabees chapter 6, verse 1. It said, "Not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers and not to live after the laws of Yahweh." So they've been trying to do this ever since, the beginning of the Maccabees with chapter 1, when it says, um, you know, trying to convince us to leave the laws of our fathers, you know what I'm saying, to leave the laws of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai and cater to their laws, leave righteousness and fill our head with abomination and wickedness. All right, it says to depart from the laws of their fathers and not to live after the laws of Yahweh, and to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem and to call it the temple of Jupiter. All right, and what do our people do today? They say that, like, you ask a so-called Christian and they say their body is a temple of Jesus. You know, a sweet baby Jesus is their temple. That's what they say. Their body is a temple, and it's the same thing. All right. It says, and the Gerizim of Jupiter, the defender of strangers, they did desire that dwelt in the place. It says the coming in of this mischief was sore and grievous to the people. All right, but it was a tester of faith. All right, and you got some people that like that said that still didn't deal with that. It says, "For the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles who dallied with harlot and had to do with women within the circuits of the holy place." Because they're doing that, and that's what they're doing in the temples today. They're putting all these different philosophies and thoughts in the mind, like with the entertainment. Now it's cool to be gay. It's a cultural, you know, fad to be gay now. Being a homosexual is like, it's a thing. It's cool, you know. I remember back in my day, I wish you would tell somebody you gay. You don't get your behind whooped on the spot. But nowadays, they tell you you're supposed to comfort somebody being gay. No, all right. So that's what's happening on the spiritual sense today. There's reveling and riotings and going on in the minds of Jake today, because that was also a prophecy. Because the Lord said He's going to smite us with madness. We ain't gonna know what's going on. We're steady looking for something, but only the elect are going to be obtaining what we're looking for. Everybody else is going to have these abominations within their mind. All right, the temple. All right, and had to do with women within the circuit of the holy place, and besides that, brought in things that were not lawful. The altar also was filled with profane things which the law forbiddeth. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep the Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or to profess himself to all being a Jew. And that's what Antiochus, his attempt was to be the abomination of desolation. Well, she was an abomination, but that desolation, what he started, um, what he started, General Titus, um, completed with the siege of Jerusalem. All right. So when Yahweh Shai came along the scene in Matthew's chapter 24, he came along talking about the abomination that was spoken of by Daniel, the prophet. Not this particular abomination. It says, all right, this is Matthew 24 and 15. It says, "When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel, the prophet, standing in the holy place, who readeth, let him hear, let him understand. Then let them which be in Judea flee to the mountains. All right, and let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of the house." All right, so we fled into Europe, and we fled into the northern and western coast of Africa, but we fled into Europe too. All right, avoiding Roman persecution. All right, but eventually, we were discontinued from our heritage, and that foundation was that shit was slacking, and that was done by General Titus in 70 A.D. On the seas of Jerusalem, and when we fell as a nation of people. All right. So I just wanted to touch on that as Esau being an abomination as a whole, them as a nation, and be an abomination for all the abominable things that he done. Because anything dealing with idol worship is an abomination to the Most High, man. With that being said, I hope this was edifying. I want to give all glory and praise to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Ha, Rekar Kwadash, Ma'amah. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and salutation to the Akim that are pushing the truth and sincerity and truth throughout the four corners of the earth, and peace and blessing to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right, shalom.